You know those moments where everything feels off, but you cannot explain why? Like your body is screaming for stillness, but your mind keeps yelling, go. That's often your feminine energy trying to break through the noise. Today, we're not just talking about it, we're feeling into the raw, sacred truth of what it means to reconnect with your deepest self. Hi, I'm Juliana. This isn't just some topic I just study. It's something I have lived for years. I have pushed, achieved, and performed until I couldn't anymore. It was that stillness in my tears and my breath that I began being in my feminine energy again. In my own journey, I have witnessed so many things about the feminine energy, but what truly stayed with me is this. It is in the unlearning that she lives. That is where the depth is. That is where the sacred begins to rise. And what I found there was a kind of power no one teaches about. That is where we're going to explore deeper today. So what is the meaning of the feminine energy? It's not the softness in the way that you're told to be quiet or small. It is the softness in the way of the ocean way in the soft power, deep and undeniable. Feminine energy in a woman is the pulse of creation, the voice of intuition, the courage to feel deeply. It is the space we hold. It is the knowing without proof. Feminine energy is the force of nature, and what gives existence and birth through life is possibilities. Behind the veil, feminine energy is the purest forms of non-physical part, but through her, everything becomes physical. Feminine energy is the connectedness to the capacity to feel beyond the mind's limitation. Feminine energy is the unspoken. In the unspoken, the spoken is manifested through our actions and through our thoughts. So feminine energy isn't a complacent organic without distortion. It is the purity of innocence that resides in every human and every living thing. Feminine energy is the receptivity of the void. But here's the thing. Feminine energy has been fragmented by society, by trauma, by our own survival modes. We try to connect through her through logic, through structure, through the mind. But the feminine doesn't live there. She lives in surrender, in the deep presence. That is the gateway. And for many of us, that has been the hardest thing to do. To truly be in your feminine energy, you have to allow space, not just in your calendar, but in your body and your breath. And that's where the sacred pause lives. And this pause isn't passive. It is potent. It's where the positive feminine energy starts to reawaken, where your womb, where your body, where your soul gets to speak again. Let's be real. Modern life doesn't make it easy to be in our feminine, especially when we feel like our power of a feminine energy has been taken or dismissed. But this is where the power is, in the reclaiming it, in the grounding yourself so deeply that you don't need to push to prove. That is the healthy feminine energy. That is the feminine that leads with trust, not control. Being in your feminine energy isn't about doing less. It is about doing differently, with more presence, with more embodiment, more joy. It is about dancing through the tension, about holding the Pandora box. And that is what using feminine energy is so revolutionary. It doesn't scream, it hums. It doesn't rush, it flows. It doesn't conquer, it creates. This is where your feminine energy becomes not just something you tap into, but a way of life. It is a return, a remembers, a rooting into the earth and rising into the stars all at once. It is cyclical, wild, sacred. It is the breath, it is the blood, it is the beauty. And every woman's energy is presently so unique. If you want to connect with your feminine energy every day, practice surrender. Surrender isn't something we have been taught, but it's a space where while you are doing, you're also creating space for the presence of God. You are letting go and loving yourself enough to express your emotions. We don't need to change or shift them. You just need to allow them. Then ground it into your body. Let yourself feel without the need for any outcome. This is also where you can tap into the arrows of life moving through you in a deep surrender. These are not just feminine energies activities. They are sacred arts of remembering your way back to your whole essence. And if this stirs something in you, if you even felt a spark of your feminine energy waking up, don't ignore it. Rest your hands over your heart, over your womb. Breathe. Ask, what does she need? That's how you start beginning in your connection to your feminine energy. If you want to go deeper, I'm here. Like, comment, subscribe, or just take the next steps to breathe in presence. This is the beginning of everything. Your feminine energy is not a trend, it is your truth. Let it lead, let it love, let it live. Thank you for being here.